May the quartz be with you. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Xerath Prevails. I get asked this question a lot. How do you spend crystals in this game wisely? Because you can buy anything with them almost. But what's the best bang for your buck? Let's talk about it, guys. First, let's talk about how my patrons are awesome. Did you know that they're awesome? They're awesome. Thank you guys so much for your support. I couldn't do this without you. I really couldn't. So thank you guys. And if you want to support this channel for free, folks, all you gotta do is hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, comment, mount the algorithm. The algorithm is probably made out of crystals. You'll have to verify that for yourself, though. No take backsies. So what do we do with our crystals? And we're not going to talk about how to get them. That's not about this video. I realize that there's a lot of places and things you can do with your crystals. We'll reference some of it because a lot of this, very similar to your dollars, spending crystals is a lot of times a direct investment into getting more crystals. It's obviously not the exact same thing, but you can kind of see it that way. How do you spend them, though? I realize that everyone's got a different income on this game. I'm not saying like dollars income, though that's also true. And there's no pressure to spend any money here, guys. I run two accounts that are very low spending. I spend $10 a month on the two of them just for conquest passes. And that's it. That's all I spend money on. And I log in like once a day on each of them. So, and then my bigger account I do spend money on. But what do I spend my crystals on? That's probably the better question. There may be some things that aren't that efficient, guys. Let's talk about it, though. I think what I have to share is going to be good. Maybe there are other things that I missed that you guys can contribute. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. First off, we have energy refreshes. This is probably, in my eyes, the most important thing from start, like early game to all the way to end game. You want to be doing 3 refreshes in at least Cantina if you can. Early game, you might not be able to afford it, frankly. I realize sometimes you can only do 1 or 2. That's fine. The energy refreshes, you want to do 3 of those. 3 of each of those. The other 2 energies, well, we'll talk about the modding ones in a little bit. The ship ones, you can. Just make sure you're getting your free energy refreshes like I don't. That's also important, guys. Getting your energy, a really important aspect of the game. Obviously, that's how you farm characters. That's how you get gear. Lots of really important stuff. But the Cantina for signal data, crazy important. Also, regular energy, you get a ton of really important stuff too. Both of them, very important. Now, everything past that is probably open to debate, a little bit at least. I mean, people can debate all kinds of things. So, you can debate whether my name is Xerath. I wouldn't bet on it. You guys can debate how to spell it. You guys don't know how to do that. Now, Conquest Energy is probably the one. I'm just starting this off so strong here, folks. Conquest Energy. That's going to be the controversial one here, guys. Okay. So like I said, I run 3 accounts. 2 of them are very low pay to play. I pay $10. My smallest one is 8 million GP now. I'm in Kyber 2, and you can see my Datacrons here. That's after, the top one is after 2 seasons of farming, and and the bottom one is after 1 season. So I have a pretty decent Datacron stash. It's about as many as I need, frankly, and I just do 3 refreshes per day. I get crate 5 so that my conquest characters get unlocked after 6 months instead of 3, but it's low stress, and then I spend all the rest of my crystals to farm Datacrons on the bonus nodes. And I realize Datacrons aren't everyone's cup of tea, but I do think that spending those refreshes are going to be important. Now, spending beyond those 3, that will happen very rarely, but I'll do that sometimes. I'm not super duper disciplined with my crystals. Frankly, guys, sometimes I just spend them on things because I'm impatient, and that's how all of us are. I wouldn't say that that's effective or essential. Doing those 3 every day, pretty important in my opinion. Doing 3 refreshes in Conquest, I should say this is in hard Conquest after you hit 4 million GP. So before that, I don't know, like make sure you finish your conquests so that you're able to get into hard conquest right when you hit 4 million, because it's always going to be better to do hard conquest, frankly. And anyways, you're going to get so much from doing your refreshes, guys. First off, you're going to unlock your characters. And they're all so good. You can see I have screenshots of these two characters from my smaller account. Malicos is so essential to what I would do in GAC. Darth Bane is also going to be so essential. I just got him unlocked per the 6-month rule that I was just referencing. And guys, this is where you get your crystal income. This is how you get way higher income, by getting into Kyber way earlier than you should. I shouldn't be in Kyber 2 at this level. I know that some people are at way lower levels, but this is a tough thing to be in Kyber 2 at this GP level. I have 2 Galactic Legends. I'm facing people with 8 consistently. It's a mess. So how do you do it? Datacrons are a huge part of it. These unlock characters are a huge part of it. Conquest, whether you like it or not, is hugely, crazy important, and you should be spending crystals on it because of how important it is. How wide-reaching it affects your entire roster for years to come if you keep playing the game that long. Oh man, you're gonna love this next one. So, earmuffs. If you hate Datacrons, hate, and you're never going to do them, just earmuffs for a minute, guys. Okay, so first off, Mark III rerolls. Really frustrating. They're the materials that let you reroll the level 9s on Datacrons. That's the character one. So you can see the screenshot here. 3 Phasmas, 3 pretty Phasmas lined up in a row. They're all worthless. The ones that are in the screenshot are currently not good Phasma Datacrons. There have been good ones in the past. These ones are not. And these are the only level 9s that this person had. I actually just stole this from someone else, but that he has 3 Datacrons that he rolled. He's trying to get a good First Order one, and he can't because he's not getting these Mark III rerolls, because the only places you get them are in Territory Wars. If your guild wins, you get a decent amount. If you lose, you get an indecent amount. Really, you don't get many even if you win. Or you can buy a pack for crystals. Those are your 2 options, guys. You can't farm them otherwise. Maybe there's like $1 way to buy them, but we're not talking about that. So here's the thing, guys. You remember how I said Datacrons are important? They are important, but don't waste your resources. You don't want to get 3 Phasmas because that's worthless. You have 3 Datacrons that you could potentially have as 1 character that you need from First Order, and then 2 that you need from, I don't know, Galactic Republic, Inquisition, Gungans, I don't know, but you don't need 3 Phasma ones, that's for damn sure. You don't need a 4th one. Jeez, like I cringe to think of someone farming up a 4th one after that, or just trying to make do with this worthless Phasma one when there's an amazing First Order Special Forces one just waiting for them. So here's the rules though, guys. First off, level 9s, like the right level 9 is going to earn you crystals anyways. You need those crystals, and you need those Datacrons to earn them. You're also, you need those other crons for other things. Like I said, you need them for other characters. And so when you get there, don't do a bunch of rerolls before you get to level 9. If you know you might need to reroll your level 9, just buy all the way to level 9, and then do the reroll once you're there. Alright? Only do the 20 cost rerolls. You don't want to do the 40s, that's expensive, but if you do this, it's worth the crystals, guys. It's worth the crystals. You can buy a pack, you can buy the crystal, you can buy 4 crystals in shipments. I realize some people are going to be unhappy with me by saying that, but this is very important for people who are working on Datacrons. This is something I spend regularly on my alt and my alts. My two smaller accounts. I don't do it a ton, but I do it for extremely vital ones where I don't want to waste more resources. All right. Okay, let's move on to less contentious business, shall we? Now that everyone who hates Datacrons have left in rage, let's get to the good stuff here. So first off, capital ship stars, folks. I know that it's a popular thing in some quarters to say, hey, we can just farm these capital ships over the course of like a year and a half, and that's miserable, but you can eventually do it. Here's the thing, folks. those are people who are not taking fleets very seriously, frankly. Executor, Profundity, Leviathan all really operate way better at higher stars. I would say Executor is probably the least priority of those three to get higher stars, but all three of them have things that are really good about getting them up to 7. They cost 1,000 crystals each refresh for 10 shards. I know it's expensive, it's highway robbery, it feels bad, but this is something that I do consistently. You can see that on my smallest account I have a 7-star Executor, even though I only unlocked it a few months ago. And Profundity, I'm starting to work on Profundity. Not quite there, but yeah, you gotta do your refreshes, guys. This is very important because an easier fleet climb means you're going to earn more crystals. If it takes forever to climb fleets, you're going to stop climbing in fleets and you're going to settle for a way lower crystal price except for, I mean, not just except for, hold on. You're going to want to get these fleets to a high level so that you can climb in fleets and then you can get 400 crystals a day instead of 50. It's a transformative moment when you can finally get to the top of Fleet Arena and you get 400 crystals a day. And you want to make that as easy on yourself as possible because this game is a grind and you don't want to spend a ton of time in Arena. Alright, guys? And then also, you also want these for the Rise of the Empire fleet nodes because those are worth the most points any combat mission has, and they're so easy. They're so easy, guys. Once you have a 7-star ship, you can start helping your guild. That is crazy important. And then you're also going to do well in GAC and Territory Wars. All of these things are things that are going to earn you crystals. I mean, even Rise of the Empire involves crystals, folks. Signal data, this is something they take forever to farm. Sometimes you just can't farm enough of it fast enough. Even if you're doing 3 refreshes in Cantina, sometimes the amount of gear you accumulate outstrips the number of relics you can apply in regards to signal data. So I know that Calvin Awesome has done the math and he says the greens are the most cost effective to buy. I will say that that may be true, but you can get greens way faster than the blue ones, and the blue ones are the most satisfying. I consistently buy the blue ones and don't buy the green ones. Whether or not that's wise is a totally different question, but I just hate spending on the green ones because they cost more, and it's probably just this psychological stupidity of mine, but let's move on, shall we? Now, people were wondering, I just made a video called Beating the Bottlenecks or something like that, and one of the things that people are saying is, I have way too few carbonized circuit boards. How do I get there? And I'm like, that's not a bottleneck. And it is. I get it. I get that it is. But my initial response was like, that's not a bottleneck. And then I realized this is something I spend crystals on all the time. These packs show up once a month for like a week straight. You spend 500 crystals. Maybe you spend 1,000 crystals on them. You get as many as you need, and then you're good to go. You can supplement with the other gear that you're accumulating in the background passively, and that's it. End of story, guys. That's important. This is another reason, though. Carbonite circuit boards, the bronzium wiring, all of that stuff, all of these bottlenecks. That's another reason you want to be doing your daily energy refreshes, because that's where all that stuff comes from. If you're not doing those energy refreshes and trying to farm Chirotech, and then in addition to Chirotech, you're also getting a bunch of bronzium wiring, etc., then you're not living, bro. No, it's you need those things in the background. Passively it accumulates and people don't realize where it comes from, but these carbonized circuit boards, if I need them, I just buy them with crystals. This is the best pack for crystals for relic materials out there, and that's what I spend it on. And then so if you want to be lazy, this is something I do, frankly, because I hate Galactic Legend grinds. It just drives me so crazy, guys. All the refreshes, all of the stuff. So I'll buy these. These are just in the weekly shipments. I think that this is a lazy choice, frankly. This isn't effective or efficient, but this is something I do, and, full disclosure, this is something I spend crystals on. And I don't think it's terrible. I think it's a lot better than buying, like, gear pieces, frankly. And then, so, finally, folks, people ask me about mods all the time. How many crystals should I be spending on mods every day? There's not a formula, folks. How engaged do you want to be with mods? How desperate for you for good mods are there? Are you for good mods? Because Yeah, they're good. They are important to this game. They are very important. I will say that if you have 3 accounts like me, modding for all 3 of them becomes a hassle, and I don't want to engage in them like way more than I have to. So I don't buy a ton of mods. I'll typically buy the stuff for 6E upgrades, and you know, and then I'll just let the game accumulate new mods for me through events and everything, and that's kind of my mod income. Now, if you're in early game, you probably want to farm them extra hard, so doing 3 refreshes is fine. I would not do more than 3 refreshes a day unless you have a specific objective you're trying to meet, and even then I would be very cautious. Doing 3 refreshes a day, if it's not going to break your bank, is probably going to benefit your account long term. Mods are extremely important, and they're like Datacrons that you can use in every game mode and don't delete themselves. They are extremely important and strong in this game, and you need them. And all the guides that I make require sometimes some pretty gross modding, because mods are important. I don't know, just ask yourself this. What does your heart tell you? You know? What is your heart saying? Listen to... No, that sounds horrible. But seriously, guys, I don't have a great answer for this. It's more like, how willing are you to be engaged? If you're super willing, that's going to benefit you, and you should spend some income on it. So, that's it, folks. What other things should we be spending crystals on? I would honestly love to know what the most effective things you think are on spending money, spending crystals in this game. Please let me know in the comments, folks. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Xerath prevails.